Note Sequencer is the second half to Vizibeat. Here, you can create beats in Engine that can directly drive your animations. It gives you precise animation timing and is formatted for music from the ground up. Let's learn how to use it. So here's a little test setup I've made. We have 5 different spheres. Here's some test data coming in just to show how they animate. Let's go ahead and open the Note Sequencer. I'm going to drop it down here next to the motion graph. Here's where we can edit musical timelines, which we call note sequences. Let's create a new one. So each note sequence has multiple sections, and each section has multiple tracks. In Motion Graph, we can input from a note sequence. Let's select the one we just created. Then we can select from any of the sections inside. So I'm going to go ahead and destroy the sections I made before. Let's name this Spheres. We have 5, so let's set the track count to 5. You can rename tracks by double-clicking. You can also drag-drop to rearrange tracks. So let's say I want the second one to be at the end, or I can bring it back up. You add notes with the brush. To edit the brush, you can click on the brush button. You can select a different length of note, and you can also select a different envelope. You can also right-click anywhere in the sequence. It's a quick way to make adjustments. Let's do a quarter note with a binary envelope. Hold Control, move your mouse, and then click to add a note. You can add multiple notes. You can click and drag. You can also click and drag up and down to adjust the volume of that individual note. Let's say you created a note and want to change it later on. Right-click on the note and you can change any of the available properties. You can move notes. You can resize notes. You can edit multiple notes at the same time. And you can also copy and paste notes. Drag over some notes, hit Ctrl-C, then press and hold Ctrl-V, and then click to paste your copied notes. You can hit A to select all notes, X to delete the selected notes, and Control-Shift-click to create a loop. It will create the note loop where your content browser is currently open. Inside a note loop, you can add notes just like in sequences. Here I'll add 2 notes with sawtooth down. Double-click to exit the loop, and double-click to enter the loop. You can adjust how many tracks the loop has by dragging up and down. You can adjust how long the loop is by dragging on the bottom right corner. And you can make the loop repeat by dragging the top right corner. When I add or change notes in a loop, you can see the changes reflected in all the other instances. Let's go back to the motion graph. The sphere section is already selected. So now let's drag those tracks into here. Let's go back to Note Sequencer. Typically, you'd be placing notes in sync with the song, but here it's just random and fun. Let's go to the start and playback. So let's say you want to input some notes, not by hand, but by playing an instrument. Let's go here. Let's set up a MIDI recording. Today we're going to be inputting with this keyboard here. So let's select it in the devices. Let's verify that this is the right device, and it is. Let's click the lowest note. Looks like that's C4. And instead of semitones, let's change this to major scale. So we'll just play these 5 notes here. Now, we don't see anything yet, and that's because we need to enable MIDI recording for this section. When we do that, we should see here in the scrubber a preview of which notes are being held. And because we have it hooked up to our motion graph here, we can see live a preview of these notes. Let's disable snapping, hit play, and play some notes. Now we can edit those notes we've recorded and do whatever we want with them. Typically, you might want to sync your note sequence playback to a level sequence. So let's add a level sequence. Let's put the level sequence up here, and simply let's click Sync to Level Sequence. What this is going to do is create a note sequence actor in your scene, add it as a track in your level sequence, and animate the source time of the note sequence. So now, when you scrub back and forth in the level sequence, the note sequence will be scrubbed too. You can move the note sequence back and forth if you want to offset it from the level sequence. If you want to perfectly sync a note sequence to an audio file, there are built-in tools to help you get to a great starting place. It creates a starting base for you automatically, which you can then fine-tune into delicious animation. Check out this video here for an in-depth look. That's the basics of how to use Note Sequencer. Use them to create precisely timed animation in sync with your music.